General quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
Broadcasting live inside a deep underground bunker on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web. This is Enemies of the State with Tom Trenton.
Let me see. Intel just introduced their first microcell Pentium processor. And Dyson just sold their first cyclonic bagless vacuum. Jurassic Park is playing, and let me see what else was going on. Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire was big in the movie. Sleepless in Seattle was a hit. Schindler's List was playing, and the movie Philadelphia, Indecent Exposure, Sleepless in Seattle. What year are we in?
19...
No, I'm going to drag this out a little bit. Hi, everybody. Tom Trento. On February 26th, 2015 at, what is it, 4:07 in the afternoon, coming out of Boca Raton on WSBR radio. I got this camera a lot closer today. It's interesting.
Yeah, and it's scaring you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
spooky.
right there. Yeah, pretty cool. We got our whole new studio here. We got a new set for you today. We got a fabulous show. We're going to go back in history a few years. I'm going to throw out a few more hints to see if you could figure out, no cheating in the peanut gallery over there. See if you can figure out what year we're going to go back to, because today is a critical date for an event that took place on this day so many years ago. And Mrs. Doubtfire was playing in the movies. And like I said, Intel introduced their first Pentium microprocessor. Remember that? Remember the Hubble space satellite with the telescope, and the optics got all confused, and we had to send up stuff to fix it? Was in this year that we're talking about today. Don't say the year over there. I'll give you a few more hints. It's a critical year in light of what we do. Some of the songs that were big in the year we're going back to. Snoop Doggy Dogg was singing out there. Rage Against the Machine was playing. Some popular musicians. Janet Jackson was gigantic. Garth Brooks was big. Aerosmith, Madonna, she's still singing. She
took a big fall the other day.
She fell in London off a bridge or something while she was singing. Nirvana was still playing, and not anymore. Whitney Houston, she's not here. Meatloaf, we all loved Meatloaf, didn't we? Alice in Chains, okay. What else? Harley Davidson was 90 years old in the year that we're talking about right now. Anybody know? Anybody out there can guess what year I'm referring to?
I can.
No, not yet, not yet. Let me develop it a little more. Here's what was also taking place. The inflation rate was 2.96%. The Dow closed at 3654. The Dow was at 3654. You could buy a new house in this year for $113,000. If
you could furnish one for $113,000 now.
Yeah. Your average salary in the year we're going back to today, your average salary was $31,200.
That's actually gone down.
I wish we were making that.
I wish I was making
That's actually gone down. Thank you, President Obama.
If you wanted to rent a house, it cost you $532 a year.
That's gone up.
Month, in the year we're talking about. If you wanted to put gasoline in your car, in the year we're talking about, it cost you $1.16.
Oh.
Movie ticket. Guess how much a movie ticket was in the year we're talking about?
$4.
$4.50.
$4.14.
Ooh,
pretty good.
Ooh,
and if you wanted to have a new ride, if you were tired of your beat up 19-something car, and you wanted to have new wheels to go just show your friends, the Joneses, how cool you were, you had to hand over how many thousands of dollars?
$8,000. That'd be a nice car back then.
$12,750.
For an average car?
Average car in the year we're talking about.
That would be
always
the
buy used
options
cars.
upgrades on your average new car in Boca Raton.
And if you did not want to steal bread to feed your kids who were poor, and you had to buy it, cost you $1.57 for a loaf of bread.
Well, that hasn't changed that much.
But
Yes,
if you were on this,
it's like $4 for a loaf of bread
is
now.
it really?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You just
I
eat
buy the
out all
Publix.
the time.
I do the BOGO thing.
I buy the BOGO Publix thing.
Yeah, the BOGO Publix, you can do well. Or leftover bread, a
Yeah.
little green molded, not too bad. You cut
Yeah,
the
I
green
know.
molded
There's
off.
nothing wrong
Microwave
You
solves that problem.
microwave it. But if you were on the
kills
plus
everything.
side, if you were on the plus side of dollars, and you want to send your kid to Harvard, guess how much it was in this year?
Ooh,
28,000.
25.
Close. 23,000 smackaroonies.
And now it's what, like 60 large?
Yeah, easily. What year are we talking about? You could say it.
Well, wasn't that some other major event happened that day?
A lot of major events.
Year?
Well, the major event, should we go over to the wall and show everybody what happened in the year we're talking about on this very day?
Well, no, not yet.
Tell me when.
Here's the video.
Tom Trento here, your host, Enemies of the State, the name of the show.
Okay.
And what we do, folks, is
Go ahead.
our mission statement has 4 components to it. We defend the United States Constitution. You know that. We stand with the state of Israel. We will be in Washington, D.C. in just 5 days, standing with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is getting completely not only disrespected, but pushed out of the global scene by Secretary of State John Kerry, who ironically voted for the Iraqi war when Netanyahu was a private citizen. Now he's saying, Netanyahu wanted the war in Iraq. I mean, nonsensical stuff coming out of this administration.
And also, we're a lot safer now than when
we're a lot safer. So our second,
that's what Kerry says.
Our second mission statement deals with defending the state of Israel, supporting the state of Israel. Third mission area is fighting Islamic Jihad, all things that are destroying the world right now. And then our fourth mission component is stopping this guy's ideological pursuit to destroy the United States
Who's that guy, Tom?
administration.
For a radio audience.
For a radio audience, let's see, big ears, long chin, dark skin. Actually, I'm probably
And a
darker.
really good crease in the pants.
Yes, a really good crease in the pants.
And wears mom jeans.
He's half white, half black, but considers himself black. I never quite understood.
Yeah.
If you're
Why is
half
it-
white,
Because
why are
it was
why are
easier
you
to get
black?
elected like that, Tom.
Oh, okay. So you should, I don't understand how that works. But we fight President Obama and his neo-Marxist views and opinions. That's what we do. But a couple of years ago, people were looking at us as the extremists with all this Muslim and jihadi stuff. Now they thank us vociferously for being on the leading edge of alerting people to Islamic Jihad and what's going on. And speaking of Islamic Jihad, can I get up from my
Yes,
seat?
you've had enough filler here.
Move over to our media wall and tell everybody what year we are in. Can I do that? Can I walk over
Yes,
here?
you can move over to the media wall. There you go.
All right, now I'm going to tell you what year we're in, folks, and take a look at this. And do we have any audio that goes with this? They can listen
Well, we
to
do if you want it.
Not really.
No.
Not really. There we go.
Well, did you mute it?
No.
No, the audio's off
The
and on.
audio's
But
in and out on this video. It's
but-
it's a pretty old video.
it's old video. But what we want you to do, and we always want you to
No
do this.
communication at all.
this
At
might be
one
a clue.
point, about halfway down, the emergency lights went out. And again,
Right
there's
now,
no
people in New York are
communication.
going, I
There
think
was
I know what
no
this
clear
is. I think I
people-
understand it. Pretty obvious now. So if you can mute that, here's what's going on today, ladies and gentlemen. It's February
The
26th.
trade towers are still standing. That's a clue.
Yeah, it's February 26, 2015, right now. 22 years ago on this day, just a few hours earlier, 12:18 in the afternoon, in lower Manhattan on February 26, what year?
93.
1993. Bill Clinton was the president, and somebody decided to blow up the World Trade Center. And the plan was very simple. Structurally, find the support pieces in the lower basement of the World Trade Center. Put a car bomb, in fact, a Ryder truck bomb next to the structural piece. Ignite the truck bomb. cause it to lean the building into the other trade center, bringing both of those down. That was the plan 22 years ago today. And let me scratch my head. Who in their right mind, what religion would be interested in blowing up the World Trade Center 22 years ago today? Anybody?
It was the Mormons.
Mormons, you're right. Those nasty, diabolical Mormons who...
That's why Romney lost in
That's right.
2012.
They
Because
ride
he's a
those
Mormon.
bicycles and go all over the place trying to get everybody to become a Mormon.
No, it wasn't the Mormons.
Wasn't the
No,
Mormons?
my mistake, Tom.
The
It was
Jews did
The
it.
Jews did it.
They did it. That's right.
Right.
No, I think we can't blame the Jews
no,
this
no,
time.
not this
Because
time.
we actually caught the guys who did it this time.
That's right.
There's
let me
about
see.
3,000 more religions. I'll give you one more
One of
guess.
your Team B2 people actually tried him, didn't he? Did he not, the guy? And it was Andy McCarthy, one of your Team B2 co-authors.
I'm privileged to be one of the authors of Sharia, we're getting close to naming the...
Careful, Trento.
Oh.
Did you not watch the Countering Violent Extremism? Do not single out my religion.
Well, we named Imam Abdullah. Good to see you here. We named the show today. They were even doing violent extremism back in 1993.
Yes,
That's
they
what we
were.
named the show. So here we have, folks, some video. And everybody listening on WSBR 740 AM right now in Boca Raton and listening on 1010 in Tampa. Those are our two commercial radio stations. We always want you to go to the internet because we produce a television show. So we're playing right now on our new media wall in our new studio. We're playing footage from 1993 World Trade Center attack number one.
Can I go back?
And we're going to go back in time a little bit. We're going to deconstruct
Here, I'll give a
the
clue.
attack on World Trade Center
There's a
first
clue.
time,
There's a
22
clue.
years ago.
There's a clue for our video.
Yeah, there's Abdul Rahman,
The blind shake.
the blind sheikh, and doing a little time in North Carolina right now. We can put a few more of his buddies up. Then we'll put all these pieces together. We're showing some of the footage right now. Show the slide that has
Let me go back.
the six major guys.
Let me back it up here. We'll kill the video.
All right, Tom Trento, your host at 18 minutes after the hour, 18 minutes after 4 o'clock. We're here at the studios of the United West, and on the screen right now, you have 7 of the key jihadis. And obviously, this was an Islamic attack. And see how nonsensical this countering violent extremism is. Back then, everyone understood that Muslims attacked the World Trade Center simply because there's a doctrinal, predominant directive to subdue and destroy the West, and this was a part of it, attacking the economic center of the United States in Manhattan. There's 7 of the principles, and let me turn your attention right now to our media screen. Top left, we have, where's Ramzi Youssef? Right there, top left.
Top left.
Yeah, and he's a fascinating character. His uncle was whom, or is whom, he's still alive. His uncle is KSM Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was responsible for
I didn't know
number
that.
2. Yeah, it's his uncle.
I didn't know that.
He was responsible for number 2 World Trade Center, and he helped his nephew out with number 1.
As far as I'm concerned, they're both number 2.
Yeah. That's a good point. So what we're going to do today is take a look at the World Trade Center bombing number 1, and then draw some lessons that we ought to learn to see why it went down in September 11, 2001, and why these guys have not stopped, ladies and gentlemen. They haven't said, we're busy with the Islamic State, or we have a president now who's enabling us by assisting the Muslim Brotherhood, or who is enabling us by recognizing that Iran ought to be a strategic regional partner and encircle Israel, which is getting pushed out of the picture. No, these guys, in light of those geopolitical developments, these Muslim jihadis, still very concerned about destroying the United States of America. Technology has increased. Now the damage they did there with a truck bomb can be done with an electromagnetic pulse bomb 1,000,000 times over. And next Tuesday, on the 5th, when Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking to Congress, we will have a special featured show. We've put an edited version together of Frank Gaffney's briefing a couple of weeks ago on Capitol Hill, where Congressman Trent Franks, Admiral Ace Lyons, Claire Lopez, and others got together. We put together this piece to show the Iranian threat, which is connected to the World Trade Center bombings, both of them. We're going to play that show on the 5th when Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking in Congress. And we're going to have a special show on Monday, the 4th, featuring, I'm not going to tell you yet. It's going to be a very big surprise. The author we have that we'll show on the 4th. And then on the 5th, we're going to have the 6th, the next day. The 3rd is Benjamin Netanyahu. On the 4th, we're going to have Admiral Ace Lyons on our show talking about Iran. A lot of stuff, but right now we're going to go back to the desk. And
hold on just a second. Okay, go ahead.
We're going to go back to the desk and start deconstructing the World Trade Center bombing, #1, which occurred 22 years ago. This hour, Bill Clinton was the president. Where were you guys in 1993?
I had just moved to Chicago in 1992. I was working at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange at the time, which is basically very similar to the World Trade Center.
Much
you know,
different.
it's a trading floor, very similar to New York, and things were pretty tense there. Security got pretty stepped up, and I also had.
So you were.
I was at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, where as soon as that happened at World Trade Center, security got beefed up really quick there. In fact, in 9/11, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the Chicago Board of Trade were evacuated in 2001 after the second plane hit. And here, I just want to get back to one thing.
Sure.
A lot of people, you know, when they think of 9/11, all they think about is Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. And as your fellow Team B2 co-author, Claire Lopez, testified in court, and the courts proved that Iran was absolutely complicit and facilitated the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center 2001. And I would venture to say 90+% of the population is not aware of Iran's dirty hands in the largest terror attack on U.S. soil.
Not only they're not aware of it, but when they become aware of it, it's, oh, you're out of your friggin' mind, you guys, you know? And notwithstanding the fact that some of the top national security experts who have no dog in the fight, they don't care what the facts say. They just want the facts to speak for themselves, have investigated this thing fully, and saw that Iran has dirty hands. But now the picture's starting to get a little clearer. Iran is positioning itself through proxies, very important national security metric, ladies and gentlemen. Iran is doing a lot of dirty work worldwide through proxies. They learned in 2006 in the Lebanese war, when they put Hezbollah in control to fight the Israelis, and many say beat the Israelis by not getting devastated, that they learned how to do asymmetric warfare through proxies to achieve a political end. Now, let me camp there for a moment. If your desire, as Iran desires, is to have a caliphate, they call it an imamate from the Shia perspective. The Sunni Muslims want to have a caliphate, a caliph, a leader controlling the world. They've established the caliphate, and the leader is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Caliph Ibrahim right now, centered in Raqqa, Syria. And in our trip to Israel in 25 days, we'll be there. We're going to be not too far from Raqqa, Syria, on the border in the Golan.
Oh, do you think I could go and pay my respects, Trento?
We may let you go there, Imam Abdullah. We may have to do that. We are not going to step over on the Syrian side of the border. Not a good idea. We'll stay on the Israeli side of the border. But the point is that where all this stuff is taking place is the real world politic. And right there, Caliph Ibrahim has established the Islamic State. Well, that's the Sunni side of the block. The Shia say, oh, those guys are apostates. They want to establish the imamate, same exact thing, but run by ayatollahs. And in fact, the head ayatollah will be the 12th imam, the one who is visible now and who has manifested himself to President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Remember him back in 2000?
I'm a nut job?
Yeah. All of this stuff fits together. So the takeaway right now is that Iran has learned to play the global national security chess game in the world. They can be more successful not by directly confronting the world states, but by using proxies, using small groups of people to do asymmetric terror to accomplish given political ends. They did that in Lebanon. They have Lebanon controlled by Hezbollah. They're actually funding Sunni terrorists in Gaza. Those terrorists are called whom?
Hamas.
The Hamas. And they're providing social welfare, weapons training to the Hamas because the Hamas hates Jews more than they hate, right now, Shia Muslims. So Iran is saying, wow, we're pretty good at this stuff. We can grow a pair of balls so big that in the midst of negotiating with nitwits like John Kerry, we can bomb American aircraft carriers and put it on a video for the whole world to see and still make believe that we're being serious in negotiating about our nuclear position.
That is so funny. I must say, I hate the Shia very much. I think they are a heretic, scummy filth. But I must say, to have the gumption to be bombing mock-ups of the U.S. aircraft carriers in the middle of the P5+1, well done. Well done.
Great. Good job. Good job, bad
if we
guys.
Can find video of this.
Yeah, aircraft.
I gotta take a break here. Okay, I gotta. At 27 minutes after, Tom Trento, your host, Enemies of the State. We're trying not to. What is that little? Those little words? Rolling, RMOALF or whatever. Rolling on the floor.
Laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying not to do that here in the studio because we just referenced the total otherworld situation where Iran literally is in the midst of negotiating the reduction of sanctions.
There's our aircraft carrier getting blown up right there.
This is an American aircraft carrier getting blown up in the Straits of Hormuz 2 days ago, actually.
Right there. You believe that? And here's the Iranian speedboats coming along to attack it. And it's a total complete, is it a wooden mock-up? And it's just, look at it. It's amazing.
It's 200 meters long. They built a full-sized United States aircraft carrier, and they held war games to show their overwhelming strength. They hit our aircraft. Iran, the Iranian Navy.
Are made out of paper mache, basically. It's amazing. It didn't sink just from sogginess.
Now, notwithstanding, we got to get Admiral Ace Lyons next week. Let him take a look at this.
Oh, we got to play this. We got to play this one more time.
We got to play it.
This is too good.
Now, I don't think our aircraft carrier here, the aircraft carrier idiocy, I don't think it fired back.
No.
Did it defend itself?
No, the phalanx guns did not work on that thing there.
This is
boom.
But here's the audacity of the Iranians. They could say
their chopper looks like something that you give tour guides tours on up and down the beach at a Pompano airport.
And their speedboats are like, okay.
Speedboats look like center console fishing boats.
Boom!
But they demonstrated the strength of the Iranian Navy by destroying
a wooden mock-up
with their Grady White attack boats,
with no
their bayliners,
with their 1950 helicopters. Oh God!
I have to regain myself here.
What was the estimate that Gary Burnson gave? How long it would take us to take out the entire Iranian Navy? Was it 3 hours?
30-year retired CIA operations officer said it would take the U.S. Navy 3 hours to destroy the Iranian Navy on a slow day, but the Iranian Navy just destroyed one of our paper mache aircraft carriers that was undefended by any battleship group, any air cover, or any.
You mean that aircraft carrier without any planes on it?
Yeah, and without any planes on it.
Or any guns on it?
Now, of course, we go over there to the Straits of Hormuz all the time with no planes, no escort carriers, and no phalanx guns, nothing, they go in there it's like a med cruise. They threw parties on deck every time.
But here's what gets me. These are brilliant strategists. The Iranians are brilliant strategists. They're destroying. Folks, this is so timely because right now Benjamin Netanyahu is talking to his wife saying, what suit am I going to wear in Washington next week? They're actually getting his clothes, putting him in his luggage to come over here to discuss exactly what we are discussing right now, the Iranian threat. In the midst of all of that, the Iranians launch a war game showing how quickly they can destroy U.S. aircraft carriers in the Straits of Hormuz because, and we've war gamed this, the United States, and we have a horrible commander-in-chief, but
oh, you're just a
I
hater.
like him very much.
You're just a hater.
The worst case, that the Iranians would indeed take out a couple of U.S. ships, and it would take about 20 days. The Straits would be shut down. Worst case, the Straits would be shut down for about 20 days. Oil prices would spike pretty considerably, maybe 30, 40%, 50%. If you're paying $4 a gallon, you're going to pay $8 a gallon. So there's going to be a disruption, absolutely a disruption in the U.S. economy. We could offset that with opening up our own reserves. But there's going to be a disruption. And the Iranians
you
know
mean
that.
the guy that won't that just vetoed
Keystone
the
pipeline?
Yeah. That guy's going to open reserve. That guy's going to make things easier for us, please.
We know there's going to be a disruption if the Iranians attack us in the Straits, and they said they will do that on for a number of geopolitical reasons.
Hope, if they try.
But then it's over for Iran. Then their navy is wiped out. Their air force will be wiped out.
And plus, there's going to be a blockade around the country of Iran. They're not going to be able to get their oil exports out. They're going to be surrounded by other forces saying, okay, guys, you're locked in. Your economy that's completely dependent upon oil, which has to be at $140 a barrel just to break even for your economy. That oil, which you so depend on, it's going to be sucked up dry. I don't care what country wants to buy it. If the Straits of Hormuz are locked down and the borders going out are locked down, you know what? You guys will fall in like a month.
Yes, I got to answer this right here for a second.
But, if you look at, that's the reason Iran is just, they're doing a lot of bluster on this. But what's not bluster about them is their nuclear weapons. They are.
Let's give these guys a nuclear bomb,
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So, that's just. Oh, we do have our next guest online, Tom, if you look up here.
Okay, I had to deal with that. That was something live coming in that had to be dealt with.
Was it our lunch order?
Let's put
Lunch order.
Where is the lunch?
Yeah, where's our lunch order?
All right, let me put this into context. 34 minutes after the hour, WSBR Radio in Boca Raton, Tom Trento, 1010 Radio, W Watt in Tampa. What?
WHFS 1010.
WHFS in Tampa, 1010. TheUnitedWest.org, TeaPartyCommunity.com. We have our next guest on. Do we have our next guest?
Yeah.
Is he on the phone?
Should be. Manny, you there?
I am here.
All
Hey,
right,
we have combat Marine vet Manny Vega. Manny, how you doing today, man? Manny.
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. We were going to Skype you, hook you up with a Skype, but you are in the field in D.C. right now. Tell everybody what you're doing.
I'm here at a CPAC 2015. And,
That's your
just
problem.
mingling with a lot of conservatives out here. A lot of people, a lot of news media. And what I'm doing, actually, is supporting Dennis Michael Lynch and getting his word out. So we're just passing out.
What is that word? What is that word, man?
Yeah, tell everybody what Dennis Michael Lynch is doing now. And people know him from his marvelous work on the border issue, the southern border issue. But what is Dennis Michael Lynch up to these days, Manny?
Well, Dennis Michael Lynch is running for president 2016.
Wow.
And he is not being allowed here at CPAC because I believe these conservatives here see him as a threat. All right, and it's, you know, in my opinion, Dennis Michael Lynch is the strongest of all the candidates out there. You know, I like Ted Cruz, I like Rand Paul, I like Ben Carson. All right, but this man he's not a politician, okay, and he's something new that we need in our country. I mean, we had, you know, George W. Bush, and we had Barack Obama. Okay, I think in order to restore this country, we just need somebody that's been apolitical for a while. And I think Dennis Michael Lynch is the choice. And Dennis Michael Lynch is here today, but he doesn't want to stir a commotion, you know. And so he's across the street from the Gaylord Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not there either for CPAC. They didn't quite like.
They don't like.
Quite like what we did to them last year. We went in overtly covert. We went in who we are for the most part, and we exposed Grover Norquist as essentially an agent of the Muslim Brotherhood. And Grover is one of the organizers of CPAC. So we're persona non grata to that event.
We're not welcome with him.
But good work. It would be good to see Dennis Michael Lynch. Hey, guys, from now on, I want to use my three names. Thomas Anthony Trento. Call me that from now on.
Thomas Anthony
Trento.
Thomas Anthony Trento.
Thank you.
It's going to be good to see him scramble in there with those guys because he's a very intelligent patriot. But Manny, today's the 22nd anniversary. The 22nd, 22 years. 22 years ago, Manny, some very violent extremists who need to be countered blew up the World Trade Center the first time. Do you believe it's been 22 years?
I do. Well, that's how long we've been at war, probably longer than that, of course.
All right, now you're a combat vet. You served in Iraq, and we are focusing on a couple of things today on this anniversary of the World Trade Center being blown up. What are your thoughts as somebody who put your life on the line to fight for the American principles against Islamic Jihadis? You're looking back 22 years now, and these knuckleheads tried to wipe everybody out back then. What do you make out of all of this?
They're going to try to kill us again in the future. I mean, we got ISIS out there in the Middle East. We got radicals, you know, Islamists in you know, Shia Islamist Hezbollah north of Israel, and we got Hamas and the Gaza Strip, ISIS. They're all the same, okay? And they're not going to stop till they have wiped out Israelis, Jews, Christians, anybody who gets in their way. You know, 22 years ago, the first World Trade Center bombing, and then we lost the towers on 9/11. We need to go after these people. We need to stop playing around, being mushy with these people and being politically correct. You know, hurt their feelings. We need to start killing people, the bad guys, or we're going to suffer something, you know, far worse, catastrophic than 1993 and 2001.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't been hit yet, you know, a big one here in the United States, but frankly, I see it coming.
Yeah, you're not the only one. And for folks who may not know Manny during, I believe it was Operation Protective Edge, back when the Israelis viciously, we talked to some guys the other day, viciously were bombing schools in Gaza. And we said, you know, weren't they shooting rockets? And what schools did they bomb? During Operation Protective Edge, when there were protests all over the place against Israel, you may remember Manny, and here he is on our screen right now. He went and stood in front of the White House against thousands of Muslim jihadis who were preaching vile hate to America and to Israel. And he held up an Israeli flag and was attacked. Manny was attacked. And through that video that was taken went viral. We hooked up with Manny, done several things with him. Manny, you're going to be at the rally for Netanyahu next week on March 3rd, right?
I certainly will. I will be there. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of patriots stand up for Israel, you know, as our great ally.
Absolutely.
If you're
Manny,
listening to this, try to make it.
We're going to let you go back to doing your good work, leafleting and getting the word out for Dennis Michael Lynch. And We will see.
Hey, say hi to Grover for us, would
Yeah,
you?
say hi to Grover
See Grover,
Norquist
say
for
hi.
us.
We love
I
him.
got in very much trouble last year handing out the book of the Grover. I thought I was doing him favor, and it ends up it was a book by the Frank Gaffney. I get in very big trouble with
Yes,
Grover.
you did. You got in trouble. We have been
Should
banned.
I tell him assalamu alaikum?
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
You
Yeah, tell
take it
Grover
easy.
assalamu alaikum for us.
All right, Manny, we'll see you. Take it easy. Manny Vega, ladies
right,
and
man.
gentlemen.
Later,
Good
Hey,
man.
Manny. See you
Hey,
next
bye.
week,
See you
bud.
next week, bud.
Several tours in Iraq as a Marine and fighting now for his country.
Yeah, he
for
goes
America.
everywhere, man. He goes like down to the borders.
Been down the borders, been all over the place.
He actually marched with him from that area where I showed
you
you
did?
a second ago. And we actually never released that video. That's what's kind of upsetting.
We're hanging on to it.
But we marched from this area over here where this woman said Hitler should have finished them, talking about the Jews.
Yeah.
And it was whole thing was sponsored by the Council of American Islamic Relations and all their minions. And we took a march from there over to the Care Building. That was a long march, by the way.
Yeah.
But what are you doing? Ordering more pizza now, or what, Tom?
No. I'm trying to figure out how I can start using my three names, Thomas Anthony Trento. I think I like that. Try it. Let's hear it. And now,
Thomas Anthony Trento.
that's pretty
and
good.
welcome to the Thomas Anthony Trento.
That's pretty good. No, here's the deal.
Not a jihadi fighting name, Tom. Sorry.
Okay. Tom Trento. Okay. All right, here's the situation. 42 minutes after. We are, as we normally do, we go where the Spirit leads us on the show to discuss critically important issues. But we want to focus in particular on this day 22 years ago when Muslim Jihadis, they're Muslims because they adhere to a particular faith called Islam. If you're an adherent of Islam, you're a Muslim. Simple. Or a Mohammedan, that's actually a more technical
Or a
term.
Muslim.
And the name of the religion is Islam, which Islam doesn't mean peace, it means submission. So the goal of a Muslim is to submit to the religion of Islam under the control of the Prophet Muhammad and ultimately Allah the God. That's the way it works. But it goes a little beyond that because Allah and Muhammad see the geography of Islam as the whole world,
Right.
then everyone Islam has to submit. Well, if they don't, then they have to become a second-class citizen and pay a little tax. If they don't want to convert to Islam, then they got to do that submission thing. If they go, nah, I like the religion I have, or I don't like any religion at all, then because a Muslim is a member of a state, the state of Islam, then now you become a traitor to the state if you don't follow the rules of the state. So what do you do to traitors of the state?
Off with their heads.
Off with their heads.
So really, Islam makes a lot of sense if you buy into the presuppositions of Islam as being true. If you say the presuppositions are false, then you have what we have now, a clash of civilizations,
Right.
where we don't want to follow what they're doing, and we have to deal with them blowing up our World Trade Center, every couple of years.
And this is also worth repeating, is if you look at it in a context of Germany in World War II, there are Nazis and there are Germans. If you follow the Nazi party, you're our arch enemy.
Pretty simple.
If you're just a regular German, and you support the Nazi party, you're our arch enemy. Okay? But you can be a German and still not be a Nazi.
Sure.
That's the same thing with Islam. You can be a Muslim, but if you're going to follow Islam to its way it should be followed, like ISIS is correctly following Islam,
Perfectly.
doctrinaire-wise, everything, support from doctrine, support from theologians, support from scholars, interpretation, and from that little book over there to your right,
Right
underneath
here, these little books.
that little book, that one's called Sharia law. If you follow that Sharia law book, that means you're following Islam. That means you're our arch enemy.
Pretty
Just
simple.
like-
Well, we can develop that a million different ways for sure. But in context, at 45 minutes after the hour, 45 minutes after 4 o'clock here in Florida, beautiful day. I know you folks up north are freezing and all of that up north from here.
I think Wall was buried in a wall of
think
snow.
So. We were going to have Wall on today.
Yeah.
We can't find Wall. But our show goes all over the world, and we have people coming on our trip from different parts of the world. And but in the northeast of America, it's frozen. I mean, Buffalo, I think it's Buffalo almost as
Buffalo's always frozen.
100 inches.
Boston had over 100 inches of snow so
that's
far.
where it was.
Boston, okay.
Down here, it's going to be 90 degrees.
No,
today.
it's not.
No, it's not. 88.
88.
Oh, I got the feeling.
I got a question for you guys because we gotta roll a little bit.
Yeah, you also got to talk about Netanyahu coming a little bit too.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
and you also got to bring up the thing on March 4th too. You keep forgetting. You keep blowing me off on
What's
that.
March 4th?
Would Muslims attack Christians in Dearborn?
No, March. We changed that. We
What?
made it an Iranian show. We're going to do it for Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday show tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. The things change momentarily. Right?
I know,
What was
I
that
know.
question you had?
The question is this,
Right.
and this is for everybody, not just you guys, for everybody. When could we properly point to the first Islamic Jihadi Muslim attack against
United
something in the United States?
The Barbary Pirates.
From the calls of Montezuma
Yeah.
to the shores
probably a
of
good
Tripoli. 1775.
That's the reason we have the
That's
Navy.
Navy.
Because
Muslim-
of Muslim pirates
let's
off of
not-
Africa.
let's not-
That's
let's-
how we got it in the first place.
Let's not count that one. Let's
Oh,
go.
let's just fast forward.
Let's
okay?
go to the 20th century.
Okay.
20th century.
We will
20th
go-
and 21st century. What's the first?
All right, hold on.
definable
Let me
attack.
define this. Before we were even a really a country, we were being attacked by Muslims. Just for the record, by the way.
Well,
okay?
as your president has said, this country was founded by Muslims.
I mean, that was fascinating. The Barbary pirates coming out of Tripoli from the shores of Montezuma, the halls of Tripoli, from the halls of
Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
That was
He's obviously
fascinating
not a Marine.
because-
Manny, I
because
need your
Europe-
help here, buddy.
because Europe, Europe had a doctrine, the European governments, that they would pay a fee to Muslims to not attack them. They saw it
Yeah,
as
it's called
doing,
extortion.
It's called
They saw it as-
extortion.
AT, you know all about that.
you're an
Don't
Italian.
you,
Come on.
Jersey?
You come from
Your
Jersey.
people are used to that.
There's a political
Protection.
term.
It's a protection charge.
There's a political term. And so the pirates, the Muslims, told the new America,
Hey,
you got to
well,
do the same thing.
We're going to protect you, man.
And, so Jefferson said, I don't think I want to do that. That doesn't make
I don't
sense.
need your protection.
So we will do an expose, a good story on that, and elicit the interesting things. But let's go to the 20th or 21st century. Let's pick the origin of Islamic attack in the United States. Then I got to show you some very interesting stuff from there.
Well,
I'll give you the date.
I'll give you
June 6, 1968.
Oh, you're going all the way back to the assassination of Bobby Kennedy.
Yes.
Oh, Sirhan
Give that a
Sirhan.
cigar.
Sirhan.
Sirhan shot.
Good.
Now, why on June 6th, 1968, would he assassinate Bobby Kennedy?
I believe that had to do with supplying Israel with weaponry for the 67 war.
That was the precedent. Well, when was the 67 war? What was the date of the 67 war?
June 6th.
Yes, this was a one-year anniversary to the 1967 war where all the Arab countries got their asses kicked by Israel, tiny little Israel. In 1968, Israel was not the defensive military powerhouse it is today. I mean, people were fighting with sticks and stones and BB guns, and Israel was attacked by 6 primary Arab nations, and then another 6 joined in to assist the primary 6. And Israel beat the Arab, and these are miracles, ladies and gentlemen, they're actual miracles, beat all the Arabs in 6 days. And then when Bobby Kennedy was moving in his possible run for president of the
He
United
would have been
States.
elected. I get the feeling he would have been a next president.
This is 1968. He had very few people know this, a very deep, warm part in his heart for Israel because 20 years earlier, he was 25 or 26 years old, he went to Israel in 1948, April 1948, and spent about a month or two living in Israel, traveling around, getting to know the Israelis. It was essentially a school project when he was in college, having nothing really to do with politics. It was to expand his horizons and understand something about Jewish people whom he loved. So Bobby Kennedy, 20 years earlier than 1968, June 6th, when he was assassinated, fell in love with Israel and wrote this phenomenal stuff. We're putting a documentary together about this whole story, and we'll show you that at some point. But now it's June 6th, 1968, and Bobby Kennedy has voiced his support for something like 50, back then I think there were F-4s, jet aircraft, to be sold to Israel by the United States. And Sirhan, who was born in Jerusalem, who hated Jews, said, no way. If this guy becomes president, he's going to be a pro-Israel president. I, for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Muhammad, for the sake of Islam, am going to kill him. And kill him he did on June 6, 1968.
And nobody ever draws that, thinks of Sirhan being the first Muslim assassin of a president, of a future president,
No, they don't. Now watch this. Now this is just U.S. attacks. That started in 1968. In 1970, there was a mass aircraft hijacking called the Dawson's Field hijackings. The Popular Front for the Liberation of
Palestine
seized control of 2 American planes and 1 Swiss airliner, all bound from Europe to the U.S. to punish the U.S. for supporting Israel. Pan Am, TWA, and Swiss airplanes were polished and cleaned and handed over. Oh no, they were blown up in Jordan and in Egypt by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, 1970. 1979, the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan is attacked because the mobs mistakenly blamed the U.S. for the hostage crisis in Mecca. Remember that, when the Shia Muslims and other Muslims took over Mecca? We got attacked for that. We got blamed for that one. 1983.
Oh, no. You just blew right over Iran.
Oh, Iran, of course.
79.
November.
79, you just blew right over
Yeah,
that.
it was a matter
What's
with
you
your
going? That's
Trento.
come on.
Minor one.
No, you only mentioned the Sunni. You do not mention the Shia.
That's a minor
You're being
one.
racist.
Look, Iran is our new peace partner in the Middle East. Let's
What?
just start to live with it. Let bygones be bygones. You guys hold so many grudges.
79 was such a pivotal year.
Oh, it was
You had Saddam Hussein, taken over. You had, that was probably, of all the years of the complete takeover of the Middle East, shifting it from, to true doctrinaire Islam, both on the Shia and on the Sunni side, was 79. And plus, you got to look what's
79 November. Yep. 56 Americans in the embassy. Argo, great, actually very good.
I was
story.
on last night.
Was it? Okay. Good
Yeah,
story.
I didn't watch it
And did
because
you
I was editing.
And did you
gotta watch
completely
this,
blow over 72 Munich? Did you blow right over that
That
one?
was
too?
in Munich.
Well, it was, but was there any Americans on that? In that
No,
stuff?
that was Israelis.
You know what I came across editing the Iran pieces? I came across some killer video of the 79 embassy takeover.
Oh yeah, there it is. In fact, that's a.
All right, we're watching it right now. We're looking at.
This looked like
Footage.
violence.
Yeah, so this is the actual takeover, which they're storming the embassy and actually taking over, throwing it. Those are the embassy gates at the time.
Well, that obviously was a critical one and set in motion the introduction of the new Islam, the new Iran, into the world stage. And it's amazing how they came from this small group of radicals now to a global partner with China, with Russia, hating Israel, hating the United States, but playing the United States negotiators for a fool, which is why Netanyahu's coming here. You got to join us March 3rd, next Tuesday, 4 or 5 days from today. We're permitted now, we'll be in front of the White House, Defenders of Liberty with Wall, the big wall guy. Just look for a wall in front of the White House. We will be there. We're going to stand with Israel, stand with Prime Minister Netanyahu, very important. Come out, support the Prime Minister. And why are we doing this? We're doing this for a lot of reasons, one of which is for the national security of the United States of America. Iran views us as the big Satan. Israel's the little Satan. The head of the little Satan is doing what the head of the big Satan should be doing, taking a stand in Washington, D.C., but no, the head of the big Satan will probably be playing golf. It's going to be very interesting to see what the optics will be when Netanyahu is taking a world leadership position on Tuesday, March 3rd, what the President of the United States is going to be doing. That's going to be very informative and ironic. You watch. We got a lot to do in a little bit of time on the World Trade Center bombing.
Well, shut up. That means Damon, shut up. Mark, shut up.
Actually, what you need to do, Tom, is give a little bit more detail on for the event in Washington. Just pump it up a hair, being this is one of the last shows that people are going to see before it's go time to be there.
Yeah, you can go to Defenders of Liberty on Facebook, Defenders of Liberty, and go to the event page. That's really where you should go to. Support for, what's the name of it? I can't.
Support Israel's Prime Minister visit to address Congress.
Yeah, we got to help these guys come up with smaller names.
I know.
Like Defend Israel or Stand or something. But go to that Facebook page. You can see it there. Get all the information. It's very simple.
If that's too long for you, just go to Defenders of Liberty MC.
Just go to the United West and watch our video.
Watch the show. Yeah,
right.
But it's going to be several thousand people there. We have a stage. We have speakers coming. We got the place from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. You can cycle through. The snow is going to be gone. We've gotten an early report on the weather. It's going to be a nice day.
Nice day.
But you know what? If it isn't, it isn't. If the bad guys can come out and fight in bad weather, the good guys can come out and do something positive in bad weather. It's fine. No big deal. Regarding the Trade Center, I'll just give you the key facts. Key facts are that the Islamic world believes that the United States is a paper tiger, that because of the transition from an industrial base to a recreational base to a technical base, that we've lost our capability to work hard and to fight on principle. Now, they've seen a flash of this in the Iraq-Afghanistan wars when President Bush allowed the warfighters to actually fight before the rules of engagement contained them. So from a jihadi point of view, the America they thought was a paper tiger demonstrated some military strength, but then the paper tiger had enough strength to reel in the military strength. So they conclude America can be defeated with asymmetric tactical operations, one of which was 22 years ago today, to attack the emblematic building of its financial strength. And again, Muslim jihadis are not dummies. They understand that if you can destroy the economy of the United States or hurt it, then you can weaken its military reach into other lands. And one of the reasons the Islamic State is not growing in the Middle East or worldwide is because the United States has served as the world's policeman, blocking the bad guys from hurting the small guys.
And they know that.
One of which is Israel right now. So laying all this geopolitical information out, they had to find a way to do these operations and knock buildings down to hurt our economy, or prayerfully find an individual who could harm the economy and limit the military. Voila! In 2001, they were capable of knocking down the World Trade Center #2, just 10 years or so after the first effort. Not even 10 years. 8 years. And then in 2009, 2008, they were surprised to get a leader of this country who wanted to deconstruct the economy, wanted to shift the wealth base to the needy, and wanted to limit the military's reach. because the president who got elected in 2008 was a neo-colonialist, an anti-colonialist. And right now we're in very, very bad shape because of these dynamics. Tomorrow we'll pick up on some of this on our Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday show. And all next week we're going to be focusing on Iran, and they are the greatest threat to the United States and Israel and the world right now. But for now, I got to go. See you tomorrow. Bye.